Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. If you're new to this channel or you're not subscribed, go ahead, subscribe, man. Coming right back at you. Walka, man. He had to drop somebody. Somebody tried to grab his 102 chain. He had that 102 chain, but what happened first is that his group of dudes was walking, right? They were walking on the sidewalk. They just got out the Tahoe and the Yukons, okay? The Escalade had just pulled up. When they get out, boom, somebody across the street literally spots them, and he asked, because he seen one of the guys, he had that Houston Astros hat. And so when he seen that, he instantly asked the dude, hold on, where are you from? And they all said they from Houston, and the guy felt stupid because if they actually from Houston and they got the Houston Astros hat on, you're supposed to leave them alone. Everybody knows that. You're not supposed to just go and keep going at it. You're supposed to let them know, hey, okay, well, look, be safe and don't be wearing that, right? But they took it to the next level because saucewalka is the way he is, and he flamboyant. He what? And came out wee and everything, right? And so what he did was they ran up on him and pretty much stopped him from walking forward in the sidewalk. And they tried to grab the chain. As soon as he put his left arm up, the security guard came from the side of him and he kicked him back, one step, kicked him back and pulled out his strap and laid out the dude, man. It was a sad situation, man, because this kid just should have never messed with saucewalka. Like the fact that they actually from Houston and he tried to ask him impress him about the Houston Astros hat. Now that's one thing, but now being a rapper is the most dangerous job. So if you go and try to run up on a rapper and grab the chain or to anything out of control like that, you're going to end up in a situation where it's going to be a baby situation where you get laid out and the other people get scot-free away. That's why when saucewalka came on Instagram, he wasn't in trouble. He didn't have to go through no questioning or nothing. It was a flat out beat the case situation where the cameras and the surveillance seen it. We seen the surveillance from the small business that was right next door to everything that went down, man. They caught it on Ring camera, and ADT released the footage of it in 4K. And now it's all held up because it's gone through so that they make sure saucewalka don't get in no trouble for this. Because when you really step back and you open your eyes and look at what actually happened, the two dudes was in the wrong the whole time that came up and tried to test him. Now, we already know that the street situation with saucewalka is the fact that he, with the red team, whatever, and anything like that, he got the 102 chain for a reason, guys. That actually means something, right? And so he said they stand on that. And so this was a situation where really is actually a whole street situation that played out. But because he a rapper and everything, and he's the person he is, it all ended up getting twisted. And that's why the dudes try to hit a lick. Look, you could think that rappers are walking lick or whatever, but it's certain ones you can't try. And now you don't know if they got it on them or not. The fact that saucewalka had to do that to the dude is insane. He had to protect himself, and it wasn't really him. It was the security guards who did it, because saucewalka wasn't walking alone and just walking around. No, he had a whole team with him. He had at least 4 to 6 guys with him at everywhere he went in LA. As soon as they got to California, as soon as they touched down at the airport off the private jet, they instantly got the Escalades and the Yukons and the Tahoes, and they was riding everywhere, following each other 3 deep in the cars, all blacked out, and basically hopping out. He might have even brought one of the Maybachs out there, and you know how it is. He gonna bring it with, but this time they had the Yukons. They were gonna use one of the other cars for the music video. They were headed to do music video work. Basically, they were gonna do like a whole day in the life of him, and they were headed somewhere. That's when they were in this one particular area. One thing you got to know about LA is you got to be watching out what particular area that you might be in, because that's when you're going to run into trouble. A lot of people say you can't go here if you're doing this. You can't go there if you're wearing this. And that's the whole thing that came down with it. When you realize that it's literally ways you had to move in the streets in LA to avoid being in a situation like this. Like, this could have really happened to anybody. But the stories of all the people that's not rich and famous and don't make it on the news like we hearing today, that's the people that you got to send your condolences to, man. And the fact that this dude just should have learned his lesson, man, and never came into the street life. This is what it gets to you guys. So everybody that's listening out there in LA, everybody that's listening out there who anywhere in the world, right, you involved in this kind of stuff in the streets, This is an example of what's going to happen to you if you ever try to go and try somebody like that has something to lose. They actually got something to lose. You don't got nothing to lose, so you're going to go ahead and try to test somebody's gangster. You're going to go ahead and try to pull somebody's chain. But I'm letting y'all know right now, do not ever try to grab nobody's chain, even if they're a rapper or not, because if they got something to lose, they're not going for it, basically. They're not just going to let you get off with that. And what goofy is going to let them just let you just take the chain and take it off and give it to you? No, because if you do that, you consider it a sucker or a buster. And that's when you're going to get a beating with everything, right? So when you mess with the wrong one, for example, like today with saucewalka, what's going to happen is that it's no hesitation and it's off with your head, basically. And so what happens is that you think that you're going to do a sweet lick, snatch something and get away because you're fast or something like that. No, just because you know where you're at and you know the neighborhood don't mean nothing. You might be able to outrun somebody chasing after you, but you're not going to be able to outrun the hollows. And that's exactly what happened in this situation, y'all. So one thing y'all got to realize is don't try this at home, man. Do not try to be the person that's out there trying to take a chain. Don't be the person out there that's even involved in no street stuff, because why would it be worth it when you going to end up like this dude laid out on the floor right where he be standing and hanging out? This dude never went nowhere but across the street, and boom, gets dropped just like that in his own hood. Now look at him. They're going to be crying, putting teddy bears and candlelights and all that just because he tried to take a chain. Now somebody got to explain to his mama what happened, and she going to be, wait, no, saucewalka hit my what? And then they're going to say, well, he tried to rob the millionaire guy, and the millionaire guy had security guards that were strapped to the T, and no hesitation. As soon as the dude came up and made any kind of move, they self-defended it instantaneously, and it was off with the dude's head, and there was nothing that nobody could do about it. They looked at the homie that he came with, and that dude put his hands up and got on the ground. Citizens arrested him until the feds came and picked all of them up, because they had to look at this situation. Like 12 pulled up. They still had the dude sitting there. Basically, the security holding him to make sure that they let them know who they came with and everything, because now somebody got killed. So they got to explain to them the whole situation in this case. And because they did that, saucewalka don't get in no trouble. It wasn't no snitching or nothing. It was a dude laid out right there in broad daylight for trying to snatch a chain, and it's on camera. They ain't have to say nothing. All they had to do was go into the business, look at the footage for 2-3 minutes, and it was a done deal. The coroner came, picked the dude up, and took him away. And he was barely unidentifiable after that. All they seen was some do-rag, and that's about it. So look, guys, be careful out there. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Let me know what you think about saucewalka. If you in Houston, shout out to Houston. If you in Cali, shout out to Cali, man. So make sure y'all tune in, and you can hit the join member button. I'll catch you in the next one.